Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today what I'm going to be talking about is how I got started in my soccer academy and how I was able to build it to over 40 plus clients, a six-figure business within the span of about 13 and a half months. So this is my story. So I had initially started off as a college player, played Division I up at UNC Asheville in the North Carolina mountains, and played there for 3 years, and then did about a 6 month stint in Oklahoma at SWCU. It's an NAIA school there. Very good players, very good coaching. Loved the atmosphere there. Wasn't for me, the area. I'm somebody who likes seeing trees and different things like that, so Oklahoma was tough for me. But how I really got started into this type of business is, like I said, I've been playing my whole life. I've been playing since my youth days. In high school, I had actually privately trained one of my neighbors. They paid me like $40 an hour or something simple, to train this kid. And from then on out, I loved it. I loved being able to pass down knowledge to the next generation, to be able to give kids that want to get into the spot that I'm in, give them that knowledge and that roadmap to get there, which is essentially why I've also started this online coaching, which I want to teach coaches how to get to where I have with my business, right? To find financial freedom. So that's somebody that I've always been. So I went to college and I did my little 6 month stint in Oklahoma, and I was sitting in Oklahoma dead broke. I had no money. I was just sitting around all day, didn't have a job. My car barely worked. I was asking my grandparents for money for rent. I was door dashing to make a living. All those kind of things. Dead broke. You don't want to be there, right? When you got cockroaches crawling out your dishwasher and your sink, and you see them in your bedroom. That's the type of living situation that I was in, which was great for me, because I realized that I did want to make it out of there. And from there I learned, I sat in a room. I was like, all right, I'm dead broke. How do I make money? Clearly, door dashing is not going to be the end game for me. So I decided to go with something that I knew how to do. I was very good at. I've been doing it for nearly 2 decades at the time. That now I've been nearly doing it for 2 decades. Something I'm really good at and something that I love to do. So I was like, all right, like soccer training. I knew this guy that had done some private training. I think his name was John Brown. Shout out John. He got me into this, but he was doing really well. I think he had like more than 15, 20 clients at the time that he was training, and it was very enticing to me because he was making a good amount of money doing so. So I was like, oh yeah, like I get to work for myself. I get to do all that kind of great stuff. So yeah, let me try this out. So I got started in Oklahoma. Basically, I was on lessons.com, found one client, and from that one client, I tried to get them to refer me to another client, which then I got to 2 clients, and then eventually I was able to build to about 4 or 5 clients in that area within like a month or two, about a month and a half. I was able to build to about 4 or 5 clients in the area, realized that I don't like living here, and I don't see myself living here for more than 2 years. So I'm like, all right, I got to go somewhere where, I know the market's good. I know where it's hot, know where soccer is huge, because Oklahoma, yes, it's got a good soccer programs out there, but it's nowhere near to where I'm at, which is Raleigh, North Carolina. So I decided to move to Raleigh. I grew up here. I lived here my entire life. So I just moved back home for a little bit and started coaching up kids. And from there, I moved out, started living on my own and building this business from here. I saw the market had a fantastic opportunity, which was there's a lot of soccer kids, huge clubs. NCFC is the second biggest club in the nation behind FC Dallas. So I saw that market opportunity, and I was like, yep. This is definitely somewhere where you can tap into a large potential. There's a lot of money in this game. And I also noticed that everybody around me was struggling, was not doing very well. And there are reasons behind that, now that I do now see that as I progress my business, and I'll get into that into a second. But I saw other people around, and I knew I could do it better. I knew I could provide more for the kids. I knew I could train the kids better, give them better training ideas, get them to show up to training, get them doing homework at home, get them doing an entire training program that I use myself to get to that Division I level. So I saw that opportunity and I took it. I started probably last October with one client, and from that one client I was able to build over the next 13 to 14 months to working with over 75 to 80 kids in the area, athletes in the area, ages ranging, all the way from 6 to 7 years old, all the way up to 16, 17 years old, right? Working with every demographic. And it started off as purely one-on-one training. So I started off by just training kids one-on-one, no groups or anything like that. It was just a purely one-on-one operation where they'd come into me, they'd do one-on-one training, and then I would offer them a lot of things to do at home. I'd give them homework to do at home. I'd give them video libraries to do at home, goal setting sessions. I used to sit down with kids and just write out their goals and see what we wanted to accomplish. And that's how I got started, right? I saw that by giving them all the extra intangibles that other soccer coaches weren't offering, not only that made me valuable in the marketplace for me to be able to charge more per hour, but it also was so much better for the athletes. I mean, they got the kids that, I've been working with some kids that I've been with for this entire year and a half that I've been doing this, or 14 months, and they haven't left my side because they have gotten so much better. I've had parents come up to me and be like, yeah, your prices are expensive, but I don't even look at the price anymore because I just know I'm looking at my son and he's getting so much better, so much quicker through this entire program that it's invaluable, right? And those are the kind of things that make my heart warm because that's what I set out to do. But it just initially started with purely one-on-one training. I had one of my best friends, his name was Colin. He works here as well. Me and him did this together. We built up the one-on-one training program where, we would essentially, me and him would do half and half. So we had about 20 kids at one time doing all one-on-ones. So we were doing about 10 to 12 hours a week of just one-on-ones, which if you're in this game and even if you love coaching, it's a lot. It could definitely burn you out. It does not feel good when you do get burned out either, right? Because the kids are depending on you. The athletes are depending on you to show up and be the best trainer you can be. And, when you're working a 9-to-5 job and then you're coming home and trying to do the training, it's very, very difficult. So we did the one-on-ones for a little bit. We did that for probably 4 or 5 months where we were just purely one-on-one. And then we got to a point where we were like, all right, I'm burnt out. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I was looking past all the athletes' needs and everybody that I was helping in their needs, and I was trying to look at my own, and I just realized that I can't be doing 12, 13, 14 hours a week of just purely coaching. When you're doing 3 back-to-back 1-hour sessions and 4, I was doing 4 at one time, and that was you don't want to be out there. Even 3 is a lot, right? So when you're doing that every single day, it's easy to burn out. So eventually I had gotten to the point where all right, I'm sick of this. I need to cut down. And I ended up losing one of my really important coaches. So I needed to cut down from there. And that's when I started my group programs, my skills group programs. And I was able to take those skill group programs from only having, 2-3 kids in the groups to having, 14, 15 kids out in each hour class consistently, week in and week out, having multiple classes a week. I started with 1 group class, and I was able to scale to 4 group classes that are just full with kids, right? And how I was able to do that over time is, building the relationships with parents, keeping clients happy, making sure the athletes are getting better. That is the number one advice that I can give you is it doesn't matter what kind of marketing you do in this game. The number one marketing that you could do is making sure your athletes are getting better. If your athletes aren't getting better, parents aren't going to be happy. And if parents aren't happy, they're not going to recommend you to anybody. Because at the end of the day, I can go out and I can spend all the money I want on paid advertising. I can go out and spend all the money I want on sponsorship deals or partnerships with local companies, going to schools and trying to drive their kids to, my trainings. But at the end of the day, if you're not providing a good program where kids are getting results, none of it matters. So I saw that, and I knew that for me to be able to grow, I'm going to have to make these kids much better, yes, but I'm also going to have to make them so much better that their parents are going to want to talk to other people about me. And then I incentivize them by paying them more money. So I was at one point, I think I was doing a free month of one-on-one training if you bring in a new client, which at the time, $400 a month for training. I mean, that's $400 that those parents were making back. So I really incentivized them, and that's how I started and grew really fast, which that allowed me to go from 0 to 70, 80 kids with the span of 13, 14 months by just offering a higher, by making sure, obviously, making sure their kids are getting much better and are much better players, but also offering a lot of money to find referrals because, like I said, I can make the athlete as good as, I want, and their parents may never say anything to other parents, right? So I was having, and I figured out that I just had to make their player as best as possible, and I had to offer a lot of money on my referral system to be able to drive those clients. Because as you bring in more and more clients into your business, more and more start to flow in. So at first, I had started with only getting like 2 leads a month, and then as more kids joined, it started going to 4, and then 6, and then 8, and then 10, and then eventually I got to a point where I was, for a little period, I was signing 9 to 12 kids per month, and that's almost nearly 20 leads at a 50% closing rate, which is crazy. So the only way I was to be able to do that is reinvest into the business, offering referral fees, allowing people to let me get their athletes better. They see the results, and then they vouch for me, right? I love my parents to death. I love everybody that I've worked with because they've allowed me to get to where I want to go and achieve my dream of being able to help dozens and dozens of athletes in my area and in my community. And I would have nothing without the parents that I had initially started with. I'd have nothing without them. And I'm very, very in debt to them, which is why, I let them come to any trainings that they want now. I started with 2-3 kids, and, now I've got 60, 70 kids. So the OGs, the people that have been around for a while that made this dream happen, and I could cry, I could tear up about it and talking about it, but they made that dream happen to me. So of course, they get to come around whenever they want. I hope to be training, and I hope that they stay in my program for years and years and years, because ultimately we're in this business to send players to college and to the professionals. That's my main goal. I was a Division I soccer player. Didn't work out for me. The pro dream didn't work out. If you're watching this and you were a former player, it probably didn't work out for you, and that's totally fine, right? But it's our job, and it's up to us to push that next generation into being able to achieve those dreams, right? I want them to achieve it for me. I'm not living through them, of course, but I want to give them the opportunity that I didn't have. I didn't have somebody who was mentoring me and training me. So I wanted to be able to give that to them. And that's really why I'm in this business, and that's why you should be in this business. You shouldn't be in this for, never go into this thing with, I'm going to make a lot of money. That's a terrible way to do it. I did that at first, and that was a bad way to do it because you're ruining relationships that way. I've ruined plenty of relationships with good parents, with good athletes, because I was money hungry, and I severely regret that, right? So don't go into it thinking that you're going to make a ton of money, that you want to make a ton of money. That's your main goal. The money will come with something that you do great. If you are great at training and you want to build a giant program that is a great training program, the money will follow you there. All right, it's just a tool. You don't need that money. Your main focus is to make the training program as best as possible, make your athletes as best as possible, as happy as possible, and help them achieve their dreams, and the money will follow. You will get paid for being good at something, right? Don't ever do something for free. Know your value, but the money will follow. So that's just something you don't need to worry about. So, so that's everything for me. That's how I got started here. in Raleigh with my private training company, my soccer academy. I'm sure that, and I'm 100% guarantee that you guys can do the exact same thing I did. I'm always looking to mentor people, reaching out, all that kind of thing. We've got a free community that you guys can join as well, full of soccer coaches. Just reach out to me via phone number 919-283-9670. You can reach out to me. Just shoot me a text. You can call me, whatever. Just tell me that you're looking for a mentor. You're looking for somebody to teach you how to do the exact same thing. And I'll give you all the tools and the best knowledge that I have to be able to do that. So I really appreciate it, guys. Have an awesome day. Just reach out to me when you can. Hit that subscribe button, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.